Hi, I'm David Sefton, the Executive Chairman of Anglo-African Oil and Gas. We're a small E&P production and exploration company with just one asset. Sounds terribly dull, but within something that's dull, there can be actually something that's quite valuable. We are genuinely trying to do something slightly different at the small E&P end of the market. Why do people buy small E&P shares? They buy them because if the exploration side comes off, you make a many times multiple of your investment. But logic being what it is, many of them don't come off. What happens then? And that's where we're trying to do something slightly different. We bought an existing producing asset with cash flows, with production. We sell oil every day, but also with an absolutely exponential exploration upside. Over the last couple of years, we've developed the company, we've drilled wells into the exploration area, and luckily we've actually managed to succeed in finding the oil in the exploration area we wanted to. But that was never a given. It's extremely nice to be sort of sitting in a position today, and there was an RNS out yesterday that oil is now flowing under its own pressure out of the exploration area. So we're obviously very pleased. But the fundamental underlying thesis is essentially a private equity role. Because if you don't lose your capital, it's much better to capture the upside that way and not put everything at risk. So we are careful, cautious and dull, but cautious, cautious and dull can win sometimes. Oil companies always moan about the oil price. It's about $60, $65 depending on the type of crude that you're talking about then. Frankly, being utterly blunt, if you can't make money out of $60 oil, you have no business being in the oil business. Certainly on the onshore side, offshore is a different world. But for us on the onshore, I mean, our lifting costs are essentially sub $10 a barrel. So, you know, if we're spending $50 on G&A, we ought to be asking questions. We're not. We have Nick Butler, who was head of strategy at BP, runs the energy research unit at Cambridge University, and was Gordon Brown's chief of staff when he was at number 10. We have Phil Beck, who was the head of the technical division at Shell and has run Petronel for the last few years. We have Brian Moritz, very experienced NED, former head of Grant Thornton's AIM team. Sarah Worry, who was at Cantor Fitzgerald and was their head oil and gas person. So, I mean, I'm always eternally grateful that we've managed to get some pretty serious people on the board. We're not out looking for money. One can never say never, but I always kind of think oil companies have a habit in the marketplace of seeing capital as a solution to every problem. Capital is the last resort. What you should always try and do is make the business work on its own account, and only ever go for capital when it's actually accretive to underlying capital value. If you're using capital to pay the monthly bills, you're running the business wrong. So at the moment we're not looking for capital. I won't prejudge it in terms of our need to develop. The only things we ever ask capital for are proper projects, further wells, upside facilities, things that directly relate to cash flows. We'll never ask anybody for capital so we can pay the electricity bill at the end of the month. I'm bringing the Gen Horizon into production. Yeah, this was always the entire reason why we put the company together in the first place. It's, with the other operators there, the offshore ones, it's 5,000 barrels a day per well. You're talking anywhere between 75 and 100, 125 million a year of revenues per well if you can bring that into production. We've got over the big hurdle, we've proved there's oil there, it's already coming out of the ground. Our challenge now is actually to unlock the value in that. Because it is, at the end of the day, it's not about the rocks, it's not about getting oil out of the rocks, it's not even about putting the oil into barrels, it's about selling it to somebody and they give you cash. We've done the hard bits, what we need to do now is the really important bit, and that's turn that oil into cash.